But it should be smooth from here. Both players have entered the lobby. Both players are stating they are ready. And you can follow both these players on Twitter at coLqxc, coLqxc, and at EGiNcontroL. Pretty active Twitterees. QXC was actually featured on a show today where he was cooking. So I believe you can follow that at SamSC2, who put on that show. I haven't watched it yet for myself, but I do like to jump in the kitchen. I've been known to make a mean sauce. Yes, my sauce is the boss. But let's just go for the quality of everything here. Thanks once again to gamersabyss.com and sc2links.com for bringing us this $100 best of 7 show match. For the sake of YouTube, we'll introduce each player once again. Spawning in the lower right hand corner of the screen, in the purple trunks, the Terran player from Complexity, he's QXC. And in the upper left hand corner of the map, the player from Evil Geniuses, the Protoss in the blue trunks, it's EGiNcontroL. So evilgeniuses.net is the website where you can find all the Evil Geniuses information, and I believe it's complexity.com. If you guys haven't used that Google thing, go ahead and use that and type each team name followed by StarCraft 2, and it'll bring you directly to what you want to look for. And we are back with it right now. QXC from the Complexity House in Texas, and EGiNcontroL playing from the EG's lair in Arizona. A little bit of probe on SCV aggression here. Not shocking, since they are mortal enemies. Or are they mortal enemies? Or they're actually not mortal enemies. I believe they're... Well, you know, I'll be full disclosure here. I never played the campaign. I'm not a big fan of campaigns. I'm not a big fan of playing against a computer. And if people are going to drop off now, you're okay to do so. But I do play a lot of multiplayer. I've pretty much only played 1 versus 1. And a couple of team games just for fun in StarCraft 2, but getting that competitiveness against, yes, the competitiveness against another human being is something that's unmatched in this world. QXC is actually going to get a slightly later orbital command there, opting for getting it on 18. I wonder if that was induced by this slight probe harassment here. Either way, EGiNcontroL is going to opt for that fast zealot because QXC has already gone for an engineering bay block at one point in this series. Will he do it again with this SCV? Is going to jump into the main base, see what kind of scouting it can get done. And if we look at what EGiNcontroL has seen so far, not a whole lot. Probably going to assume that a command center is going to drop down this game, but the fact that that last game ended in such a peculiar manner that he got all of those Marines out, I'm sure EGiNcontroL is going to play a little tiny micro bit safer here. It doesn't get much safer than just opening with warp gate research and 1 gas, because it can give you a lot of options to parlay into a robotics tech. You can also get a Twilight Council tech, as we have seen from some players. But if you get that robotics facility up, you do have a little bit more outlets. Getting the observer is going to allow you to scout out your opponent much quicker, and you can opt for even some type of warp prism tactics, which I know I have seen EGiNcontroL do in the past. But the standard is to come up here with the Stalker and a Zealot, try to poke up the Terran's ramp to see what exactly is going on. And QXC is going to opt for super macro heavy play, going now for the opposite end of the spectrum with 3 command centers. And EGiNcontroL is going to pop up and see the bunker at the front. What will he do with this, though? Okay, Nexus was dropped down. Will he get additional gates? Will he opt for getting his tech up quickly? Alright, getting that additional gas leads me to believe he will opt for some type of tech-oriented build. But 2 more gates are going to follow as well with that. So going to power up ever so slightly here. QXC poking out with his Marines to see, are you making a pylon outside of my base? What are you doing out here, buddy? And retreating back to that bunker. He will be relatively safe. And QXC is adding on barracks after this with his 2 gases as well. So really going into high macro mode, that 3rd command center will allow you to drop down an additional mule at your natural, which just ramps up the economy. And with that economy ramped up, man, you can really macro hard. I mean, he'll have additional SCV production. Things can come out much quicker when you ramp up your SCV production. With that additional income, man, anything can happen. I think EGiNcontroL may be a little bit suspect. Okay, yeah, dropping this Stalker up on this ramp over here leads me to believe that he's looking for some type of marine run-bys, something that coLqxc might be planning for at some point. But we are going to get a pause. Okay, we are going to get a pause. A little break in the action. What's up, chat? What's up, chat? How you doing out there? Do you guys want to win? Let me know. Okay. We're back. We're back in the game. coLqxc dropping that stim down almost immediately with that EGiNcontroL, man. He is not taking any chances here. Getting a good knowledge of what's going on out there. coLqxc has just seen this little I don't even know what I want to call that out there. It kind of looks like a virus of some sort, but he's staying just confined to the middle. And will he opt for another bunker at the front? I don't know if that's in the cards here. He is going to drop down 2 reactors on these barracks. Wouldn't be shocked to see him drop down another 2 barracks anytime soon, or maybe a factory. And there's the factory. Of course, trying to get medevacs out to get the heal going on, and with that stim, of course, it does drop a little bit of health off. EGiNcontroL going for these fast +1/+1 upgrades, and I really like this. He is going to get that Twilight Council as well. The upgrades in this matchup are super important, especially if you can leverage that Chrono Boost. If you can leverage the Chrono Boost to the best of your ability, what you can do is get your upgrades up so much quicker than the Terran player. And if you look here, coLqxc is just now dropping down 2 engineering bays, an additional 2 barracks as well. So his upgrades are going to be behind. EGiNcontrol's looking pretty good right now. If we go to the SCV to probe count, 45 SCVs to 40 probes, and ladies and gentlemen, 3 command centers. Pretty good. coLqxc is going to get supply block for just a second here, but he is in a good little flow. His barracks are just about to finish up. These 2 reactors are going to make things so much easier for him. But if you look at the incomes now, coLqxc just, man, with those extra mules just getting so much more. EGiNcontroL dropping down this pylon over here to prevent the 3rd from going up for coLqxc, and I like that move. And he's actually going to get Blink as well. So yeah, I can see where Blink is going to be helpful here. If he can get an observer to the back of base, he can do some blinks into the main. And just, you know, that's those stalkers out on the map, having them with the blink ability is going to allow you to do pokes, to take map control, and just be really cost efficient with your units. So good decision there from EGiNcontroL. But yes, he does want to ramp his tech up a little bit more, is going to drop down that robotics facility. So we'll see if he opts for immortals or anything like that, but the +2/+2 is going to be starting almost immediately for EGiNcontroL. Fantastic decision here to opt for that. It's going to make such a big difference in these engagements, and it's going to give him a great return on investment. Marauders in production for coLqxc, and he is going to get concussive shells and combat shields simultaneously. Both players sitting on 2 base right now. And does coLqxc have an armory? Does he have an armory? He doesn't have an armory. So, you know, coLqxc's a guy who probably knows a lot of his timings with the +1 plus Stalker Stim. Stim pretty good there. He is going to get the probe as well. EGiNcontrol's little pylon line over here allows him to warp in at any time he wants, but I don't think he really wants to engage right now. He doesn't actually have a whole lot of units out on the map. There are 34 Marines for coLqxc, and he's actually posturing up the front. He's going to need more sentries, but if we look at his warp gate infrastructure, okay, he has Stalkers in here. He's going to need to bring those Stalkers to the ramp. He is going to need to respond very quickly here. If coLqxc decides to go for the stim up, this could be terrible. Could be terrible, but okay, great reaction time there from EGiNcontroL, but oh, he has blocked down the rocks at the other side of his ramp, so he has to use more sentry energy, but he has plenty available indeed. And if he can trap some of this army up, I'd love to see that move. And he does trap some of the army up there, and he's going to get some free units here. This is exactly what EGiNcontroL wants at this point. He's got a better concave than coLqxc, and these Marines are going to drop so quick. The +1/+1 is even for each player right now, and he does have Blink. He is going to blink back those units ever so slightly, and yes, he is going to retain a lot of them. Fantastic micro there from EGiNcontroL. Great micro from EGiNcontroL. He is going to be able to clean up all these units and deflect coLqxc's attack. Even blinking forward now, taking down the medevacs, and oh, losing a couple of Stalkers right there. But coLqxc does have to back up. This command center was delayed ever so slightly from that command center, or from that pylon that was dropped there from coLqxc, and a little bit of engagement with some Stalkers and some Marauders over here, and gotta be careful losing 2 Stalkers to 2 Marauders, and decently even trade, but not really a trade you want to be making now. QXC is going to get that 2-2 up at the completion of that army. EGiNcontroL opting for charge lots right now, and charge lots are great, especially if you can get some storms in the mix, but we don't see Templar Archives, we don't see any type of Colossus. This is a straight gateway play from EGiNcontroL, and he's going to try to posture out here on the map, but he's got to be so careful. He does have the upgrade advantage, so he can leverage that for his benefit at this point, and he's going to push into the third base, and with no fears, EGiNcontrol's moving in. He's saying, okay, I got the blink, son. Don't let me blunk you. He's got to be so careful. Very Marauder heavy is QXC, and losing 2 Stalkers there. He's got to be so careful. Does EGiNcontroL actually needs to back up? I'd love to see him back up because he's actually not dropping down to third base, and he just doesn't have the tech. He doesn't have the advanced tech from here sitting on the warp gates right now. He just has a +2/+2, not starting +3/+3 because without the third base, he just can't support it. He's got to opt either for upgrades or units or infrastructure. He does have a decent look at the army position for QXC, knowing, okay, it's not anywhere else out on the map, but he has to be very careful for drops, which QXC isn't opting for. But I'd love to see him try to throw that observer into the main to see that, oh my goodness, QXC has gone into super macro mode now, even dropping down that Ghost Academy. He knows exactly where EGiNcontrol's army is too, but EGiNcontrol knows where he is, and he's, interesting enough, hasn't really produced anything. Just opting for even more warp gates, warp-ins, and he is going to do a slight engagement up here, but he's got to know, man, this is just too much stuff. QXC got that third command center up so quickly, and man, this is just a tough position for EGiNcontrol. He's got to make a choice here. He's just kind of deciding between two things. Okay, he is going to go for that +3 attack. He's going to go for that +3 attack, but will it be what he needs to get back in this game? Because I think he's definitely behind right now. If we look at the income, QXC's just taken such a huge lead. He's got 71 harvests to 48 of EGiNcontrol. And I don't know, man, if was there a drop? Did I miss a drop or something? Or what's going on here? What is going on? Everything is kind of falling apart. He had such a great lead in the front, did EGiNcontrol. And now let's see if QXC opts for those +3/+3 right off the bat. He can at least get one of the upgrades started right now, if he does desire. If he does desire it. Yep, and he does go for that +3 attack as soon as possible, and I like that decision. EGiNcontrol is going to warp in more Stalkers here. He will be able to take out these Marines, and I'm pretty sure he's conscious of it, yes, with that blink back. So he is going to handle that. QXC, on the other hand, hasn't really got a good scout off on EGiNcontrol as well. I wonder what he's actually thinking EGiNcontrol's army composition is like. I'm not sure how many scans he's been firing at the base, but it doesn't look like many because he has seen the Twilight Council at the very least. Must have scanned up something in here. But EGiNcontrol is dropping down that robotic space, so he does want to get Colossus out. That is going to be the choice for him, and with +3 Colossus out in the field, he can rip up this biocentric army of QXC, which has no Viking support right now. So Thermal Lance on the way, but again, man, this might be just slightly too late for our Protoss player. +3/+3 is going to finish before QXC's, but if he engages right now, we're on even upgrades with EGiNcontrol with less tech and less supply. The charge is going to help, and man, huge EMPs going down on EGiNcontrol's army. A huge engagement in the middle of the map here, but all of the Protoss units are shredding. So Marauder heavy with the Marines. GG here. QXC taking the 3-0 lead in the match.